Live from Innovation Park on the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Tuesday, September 29th. Tonight, we'll give you all you need to know about last Friday's vigil for Brianna Taylor on campus, as well as what it means for Center County to be in the red zone for coronavirus.
We also have an update on the president's tax returns being released, as well as your sports, entertainment, and weather.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kailey Grill.
And I'm Max Kuegler.
This past Friday, Penn State's Black Caucus and Black student athletes organized a vigil for Brianna Taylor, a Black woman killed in March by Louisville police officers during an apartment raid. Her death inspired people across the nation to seek punishment for the officers who shot her. State College is no exception. At the vigil, African American students reflected on how race has affected their lives and what it means to be a Black woman in America. PSN News had a chance to go to the vigil to give you an exclusive look at Friday's event.
This Saturday, the Penn State Black Caucus, the 320 Coalition, and Black student athletes held a protest and march at the Allen Street gates to demand justice for Brianna Taylor and for Black lives. The march took place following a candlelight vigil the night prior in honor of Brianna Taylor. Many members of the Penn State community showed up to protest, including members of both the Penn State men and women's basketball teams. The group of protesters took to the streets after a series of speakers and performers armed with masks and signs, hoping to make a difference.
Matter! 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 Matter!
COM 402, also known as International Reporting, is no longer available to junior and senior journalism students this upcoming spring, following an announcement made by the Belisario College of Communications. The decision comes in wake of the travel risks present by the threat of COVID-19. COM 402 involves sending students overseas to report on global affairs, but this will no longer be possible due to tourism restrictions.
State College has confirmed a second positive West Nile virus in a mosquito sample by the Center County Planning and Community Development Office, according to a press release from the Center County Board of Commissioners. No human cases of the virus have been reported in Center County this season. The Board of Commissioners said this should serve as a reminder to use caution while outdoors for the remainder of early fall.
A little more than 50% of Penn State classes are virtual this semester, which means a lot of students have decided to stay home. PSN News field reporter Juliana Turdo can give you an inside look on how Penn State students are handling online classes both on campus and remotely.
Hi, my name is Juliana Tordo, and I am currently not in State College, but in my hometown of Little Falls, New Jersey. I still take classes here at Penn State, and I am active in a variety of student life that Penn State has to offer. This rings true with many of the students that decided to stay home this semester and not make the trip to University Park.
Classes with over 250 students are switched to remote learning, which leaves a lot of students with no in-person classes at all. They are attending classes via Zoom, completing assignments on Canvas, and even participating in virtual labs. I had the opportunity to speak with PSU students Chloe Nackley and Cassandra Zamora to see their take on the remote learning lifestyle and experience. How have you adjusted to remote learning?
For some classes, it's definitely a little bit easier, and then there are just some classes where I wish I could just be in person, like answering questions, and I feel like I could focus more, but it's working.
That I fully adjusted yet. I think it's definitely a big change from having in-person classes, and it's hard to adjust. Even though I've been doing it since last semester, I think it's going to take me a lot more time to just, be able to fully do it and feel motivated while being in my room all day.
feel like remote learning and Zoom classes is an effective way to learn.
I do believe like remote learning and Zoom classes are effective when there's no other option, especially. It's definitely a way of learning for sure.
It's the best we could do right now, but I don't think it's an effective way to learn. It's very different from a classroom setting where teachers can write on the board and engage with everybody.
As you can see, remote learning has become the new norm due to the coronavirus pandemic. Although students are unable to physically attend campus, they are all still working extremely hard to quickly and safely make it back to Happy Valley. For PSN News, I'm Brianna Tordo.
According to the latest White House Coronavirus Task Force report, 2 Pennsylvania counties are in the red zone and 9 are in the yellow zone. State College in particular has been designated as a red zone. This increase in certain counties can be attributed to the opening of academic institutions over the past few months. Pennsylvania's case rate is still below the national average and is currently in the green zone for test positivity.
Stay tuned because after the break, Tusha Pham will bring you the latest in entertainment.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Tusha Pham with your entertainment update. Known for his 4-minute, 20-second vlogs, popular YouTuber and internet personality, David Dobrik is coming to Penn State. Well, kinda. The Student Programming Association is hosting a virtual Q&A session on Monday, October 5th at 7 p.m. Dobrik was supposed to make an appearance earlier this year in March. However, due to the virus outbreak, he was unable to. Registration for the event can be found on the association's Linktree website or through their Instagram account at PSU-SPA. Upon signing up, students can submit questions for the event on the form. The event is free to students, and they will need to verify themselves by using their Penn State email address prior to entering the virtual event. There is still time to RSVP, and who knows, you might win a Tesla. In addition to Dobrik's virtual event, the Penn State Student Programming Association and Penn State Homecoming will host a virtual concert featuring pop singer-songwriter Noah Cyrus. The concert is scheduled to take place on Sunday, October 11th at 7 p.m. To sign up for the event, students can find the form on Linktree or Instagram. Access to the concert link is granted upon signing up. The concert will kick off this year's homecoming week. Penn State is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month by hosting numerous virtual events for students to attend. PSN News field reporter Brooke Stake was able to attend Chef David Cantus's event, where he taught students how to make tamales.
My name is Brooke Stake, reporting from University Park. Penn State is bringing in Chef David Cantu for National Hispanic Heritage Month. He is doing a culinary demonstration on how to make tamales. Tamales is one of the national foods in Mexico, made with masa or dough and then wrapped in banana leaf or corn husk. It differs vastly in different regions across Southern and Central America.
Tamales have always been a family tradition around holiday times when families were around, or we would go visit aunts or uncles. They would always have plates of tamales. It's a comfort food for us.
Part of the reason why Dave even agreed to do this and what we were thinking as kind of a side benefit to doing this is that it kind of becomes a legacy. Our son will be showing his grandkids video of his dad, making tamales. It's an opportunity to shine a light on something that doesn't get recognized very often.
That's true too.
There's most people, I think, in this country, they watch the news and there's a lot of negativity associated with the Hispanic population for political reasons. And so, taking this opportunity to shine a light on the accomplishments and what the Hispanic community has brought to this country and really has been the backbone of a lot of aspects of the American economy. So anyways, it's an opportunity to shine that light and to celebrate the accomplishments of the Hispanic community.
To finish their presentation, the Cantu family expressed how everyone in their family loves tamales and how it brings their family together each year. They even offered curbside pickup to anyone who wanted their homemade tamales. This was a great way to kick off National Hispanic Heritage Month.
My name is Brooke Stake, reporting for PSN News.
After 14 years and 20 seasons of family fun and drama, Keeping Up with the Kardashians will be coming to an end with the final season airing in 2021. Earlier this month, Kim Kardashian announced on her Instagram that her family made the decision to move on from the reality TV show. A source who spoke to Entertainment Tonight confirmed that, quote, there was no big reason why the family decided to end KUWTK. It was a mutual decision, end quote. The family plans to use this time to focus more on their family and future projects. Over the years, the show helped define E's network beyond entertainment news. The reality TV show never strayed away from documenting the family's good times, bad times, and everything in between. Farewell to the Kardashian-Jenner programming legacy. You did amazing, sweetie. That was your entertainment update. Stay tuned because after the break, Carlos Garcia will bring you the latest from the world of sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Carlos Garcia with your sports update. With less than a month left till the Nittany Lions take the field for the first time this season, Penn State is ranked number 10 in the AP Top 25 poll despite not playing a single game. Big Ten teams were eligible for the poll for the first time since late August, and the Nittany Lions dropped to 10 from the number 7 ranking in the preseason. Other Big Ten teams in the poll include Ohio State in the top 10 at number 6, Wisconsin at 19, and Michigan at 23. After the initial decision to postpone the season, head coach James Franklin expressed his struggles, saying that he was upset his team wouldn't be able to play because he felt it would be a special season. Now, Penn State has the opportunity to prove just that, starting with their first game on October 24th at Indiana. Penn State Belisario's College of Communications hosted a speaker series featuring Jason Eyre, the director of the critically acclaimed documentary The Last Dance. PSN News field reporter Chloe Mesogaitis has the story.
I'm here outside the Donald P. Belisario College of Communications, where last night the John Curley Center sponsored a series of Zoom talks with Jason Eyre, ESPN producer and director of The Last Dance. ESPN's The Last Dance has been a phenomenon since it aired in April of 2020. The 10-part Emmy Award-winning documentary follows the dynasty of the Chicago Bulls, especially throughout their 97 season, popularly referred to as The Last Dance, due to Coach Phil Jackson's final season with the team. The miniseries focuses on Captain Michael Jordan's life and career and transitions back and forth from the 97 season to seasons past. Eyre says these transitions were vital in order to understand the team's history.
I kind of buried myself in some research for 2 or 3 weeks and came up with this 14-page outline that jumped back and forth in time and really told the story of the Bulls dynasty through the lens of that 97-98 season. So we could still get away with calling it The Last Dance, and the chronological spine of it, the bedrock of it, was going to be that final season. But we were also going to tell the stories of what brought, how we got there.
The series was 4 years in the making, and Eyre told students by the time the COVID-19 pandemic hit, only 4 episodes were complete. Eyre says a 3-hour interview with Jordan had to last him a year of filmmaking.
Michael, there was very, very little footage of him off the court during his playing days, and now he's just kind of a legend. This guy kind of lives up in the hillsides, but you don't really hear from him that much. So we benefited from the fact that he was so scarce with his publicity in the previous 20 years, because when he sits down, all of a sudden, anything he says is riveting on some level, because you just don't see this guy in a relaxed environment like that.
Eyre spoke to students about his past and present documentaries, working with big stars like Michael Jordan, and encouraged students to keep just asking questions and never be afraid to reach out to sources. For PSN News, I'm Chloe Mesogaitis.
Although Penn State football doesn't start for a while, tons of Nittany Lions are making waves in the NFL. 40 former football players and 9 coaches made rosters, including 8 players from the 2019 Cotton Bowl victory. Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki has 12 catches for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns through the first 3 weeks of the season. Tampa Bay wide receiver Chris Godwin and Detroit Lions tight end Jesse James both caught their first touchdown of the year and helped lead their teams to victory. After Miami's Game 6 win over the Celtics, the NBA Finals are set. The Miami Heat will face off against the Los Angeles Lakers for the 2020 NBA Championship in the NBA bubble in Orlando. The Heat are back in the finals for the first time since 2013 and look to be the first 5 seed to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy, while Los Angeles looks for their first title since 2010. The battle between the Lakers and the Heat will be one full of stars, as LeBron James looked for his 4th ring to cement his legacy, and all-stars such as Anthony Davis and Jimmy Butler look for their first ever title. Game 1 is on Wednesday, with tip-off starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That was your sports update. Last week, our interview anchor was able to sit down with PJ Mullen, the Director of Marketing for Penn State Athletics, to talk about his role for Penn State Athletics.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to PSN News. I'm your host, Zach Gershman, and with me today is the Director of Marketing at Penn State Athletics, PJ Mullen. PJ, welcome to PSN News.
Thanks, Zach. Great to be here as a College of Com alum. Always love jumping on PSN TV.
Let's do it. Let's get right into it. PJ, as you said, you're a College of Com grad, graduated in 2007. You had the opportunity to work in some major media markets, DC, Philly, but you ended up coming back to State College. Talk about your progression from B94.5 to Penn State Athletics. What was that like?
Incredible. I mean, just coming back up here. I'm from the Delaware County area. I'm from Delco and outside of Philly, and took a leap of faith without getting into all the details when I moved back up here. Worked for B94.5, which is still a rocking and rolling radio station in town, a great station. That radio station got me very well connected with the community and the athletic department. And one thing led to another between our former coaching staff with Coach O'Brien when he left for the Texans, and then when Coach Franklin moved in. And the long story takes too long to tell, but the short version is I stalked Coach for a long time and kind of forced him to hire me when all was said and done. And worked my way in with him from the day I had met him. I said I was going to work for him, and ultimately that dream came true. And learned a ton from him and his staff and the operations guys, specifically Michael Hazel, Director of Operations, Chief of Staff Kevin Threlkel, and Director of Player Personnel Andy Frank, who are the best in the business, best in the country, not even a question. And worked for those guys. I was the player relations dude, doing my thing and learning from the big brothers and Coach Franklin. And then worked my way from there into the marketing role that I have now with football and hoops and kind of all things Penn State, fun and passion. So that's what I get to do. And when I was sitting in your shoes, back in 2007, did not think that would become a reality. I always thought I'd be doing the TV radio deal, but sure enough, moved into the marketing side and get to produce some of the biggest shows in the country at Beaver Stadium, where Kirk Herbstreit, former Ohio State Buckeye, calls the best atmosphere in college football.
So when you hear people like Kirk Herbstreit say that this is the best atmosphere in college football, tweets the video of people singing Sweet Caroline in the stands, all white. What's that like for you?
It's awesome. It's first and foremost, it's amazing to see the best fans in the country. And it's always great to see them get the respect that they deserve from the highest level people in the business. And Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler and Maria Taylor and Holly Rowe and them, they're all a big part of what makes college football so special, and to always get those great accolades from them to our fan base and our team and our coach. Coach Franklin, his staff is the best. From a personal side, it's always surreal to see a national telecast talk about something that you are a part of. It's myself, it's a team, it's a village of people that make it happen. But personally, yeah, it's always rewarding. And the first line in my resume reads, leader of what Kirk Herbstreit calls the best atmosphere in college football.
To not getting into too many specific details here, but as a director of marketing, what is some things that Penn State Athletics are doing to connect its fan base, the best fan base in the country, with its athletic teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's turned into a virtual world, whether we like it or not. That's the reality of the situation that everyone, not just a couple people, finds themselves in. So no matter where you look in the country or around the world, everyone's taken the number one priority is safety of our student athletes, our students, and the fans. And then decisions are made, and then my role and the people I work with and people I work for, our roles are to come up with plans to continue to put Penn State at the top of people's awareness. Top of mind awareness is always a key factor in marketing and making people excited for the football season. It doesn't take much. People love their Penn State football. They love Penn State athletics. So our job is to simply capitalize off of that. So what we do right now in this current situation and climate we find ourselves in is find ways to keep getting better, stay ahead of the curve, look at a challenge as an opportunity, and make ourselves a little bit different than everybody else. And, I have full confidence in the people I work for and work with and the people that work under us, that we are going to continue to get that done, utilizing all the great resources on campus, the student body, the professors, and of course, our great leadership.
Being a College of Com grad and a Penn State grad, for college graduates entering the workforce, what piece of advice do you have?
Zach, talked to a business class, last week, went to Mike Porman's class the week before, spoke to a business group a couple of days ago. It feels like every day or two I'm talking to, a class or a group. And a couple of the things that I keep saying, that I keep finding myself saying are, number one, persistence is key to everything. Staying ahead of the curve. Something I learned from one of our leaders, Scott Sidwell, who's their deputy athletic director here at Penn State. He said to me, it's going to come down to who stays ahead of the curve and who keeps chopping wood. And I look at that as I look in the mirror. I say, I can do that. I'm gonna stay ahead of the curve. I'm gonna chop wood. I'm gonna look at every challenge as an opportunity. One person says it's raining. This is gonna stink. I say, QCCR, baby, let's go. Have you ever seen the rain? Let's get that perfect cut ready to go. Let's play at the right moment and make it awesome for the fan base. Whatever the case may be, let's get ready to go with that. Let's make it awesome. And the last thing I would say is I learned this from a friend that I recently lost. He gave me 3 last things before he passed away. And he said, the 3 things were, number 1, do as much karaoke as you can and sing it loudly. And what he was saying was, do whatever you love, do it proudly and loudly. You don't actually have to sing or dance for that matter, but whatever you do it proudly and loudly. I do that every single day. I would tell every student to do the same. I don't care if you're trying to do a podcast or a TV show or be in front of the camera, behind the camera, the light guy or lady, or the stage manager, whatever you are, do it loudly and proudly. The second thing he said was be unapologetically happy. The past 3 or 4 weeks, that's all I focus on. I got to find a reason every day to be happy. Got to find a reason, whether that's going to church every morning, which I do as much as I can, to kick off my day, or taking a bike ride to a meeting, whatever it is, be happy. Find it. Find your favorite Pandora song or station rather, and listen to it on your run or your workout or while you're doing your edits, whatever you got going on. Be unapologetically happy. You have no reason not to be. Even in the worst moments, you got to find that. And if you can find that, you're going to succeed. And the final thing he said was to love people and to tell them you love them. A mom, a dad, an aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, just a friend, whatever. Find that person that you can say it to. And the way you can do it if you can't say I love you is you can be kind to people. And I've said it myself. I've looked in the mirror and I've not passed that. In a pass-fail world, I haven't passed that every time. You should be batting 1,000 to be kind to people. I need to bring my average up. My average is not where it needs to be. It needs to go way up, and I'll keep working on that. So again, it's just work your butt off, which is great. Be persistent. Look at every challenge as an opportunity. And then most importantly, be proud of what you do. Do it loudly. Be happy when you do it. That'll rub off on everyone around you. Be kind. Tell people you love them. And the final thing I'll say, Zach, is I always tell my students, the people I'm with, the groups I talk to, is treat every event you get to produce, direct, or host. Make sure you make it that it's someone's first. If it's someone's first time there or last time there, it's awesome. So treat it like it's their first time or last time there. If you go in with that mentality, like a star athlete goes into it. So when we produce shows at Beaver Stadium, whether it's the first game of the year, the whiteout, or the last game of the year where the students are not always there for Thanksgiving break, we treat it like it's the first time or last time. And sure enough, we've learned the hard way. Last year versus Rutgers was the last time we were in Beaver Stadium. So, we look forward to getting back in there with everybody.
Those are some beautiful pieces of advice. PJ, thank you so much for joining this edition of PSN News. Zach Gershman signing off. I'll see you guys next time on PSN News.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Allison Gottlieb here with your forecast. For our weather headlines, we'll finally have some rain this week, chilly evenings ahead, and consistent temperatures throughout the midweek. Our future weather, we're going to wake up early Wednesday with a downpour, but that will be some spotty showers throughout the day until around 2 p.m. where we could see that clear out. Into Thursday, we will have some overcast skies near Harrisburg and Center County, and we will have spotty showers throughout the north part of Pennsylvania. Going into the rest of Thursday and into Friday, we will have some clear skies around the whole entire state, but we will have a little bit of spotty showers near Erie. Continuing into our Friday, we will see that there is a system in the Atlantic Ocean, and there also is a system that brings some rain towards the edges of Pennsylvania, but we will see some overcast going into the weekend, and we do have another storm system coming up from the south and won't affect us until next week. For tonight, we have a low of 50, early AM showers, and winds west 6 miles per hour. For tomorrow, we will have a high of 65, a washout, just like the rest of the week, and winds west 3 to 7 miles per hour. And for our 7-day forecast, Tuesday, today we have a high of 61, a low of 50. Tomorrow, I said we will have a high of 65. Showers continue for Thursday, and a high of 63, a low of 41 into the weekend, into our next week. We will see more of those sun and clouds, highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and then lows in the 30s and 40s. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Allison Gottlieb.
Judge Amy Coney Barrett is waiting to be confirmed as President Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee after being named by the president Saturday afternoon. Trump's decision comes in wake of the passing of former Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If confirmed, she will be the 5th woman to serve on the Supreme Court and the youngest member of the current court. Barrett would be Trump's 3rd appointee, joining Justices Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh.
One officer involved in the death of Brianna Taylor is facing indictment following a Kentucky grand jury ruling last Wednesday. Brett Hankinson was charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment after firing into neighboring apartments during a narcotics raid on the home of Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron said the officers were, quote, justified in their use of force, as Walker fired first at the officers. Walker says he was not alerted of police presence at his home, although other evidence suggests that the officers knocked and announced themselves. The FBI is continuing to investigate possible violations of federal law.
2 police officers are recovering from gunshot wounds following the downtown protest in Louisville this past Wednesday. The officers were responding to reports of gunfire from the large crowd that assembled. The protest ensued following a grand jury's decision not to charge the officers who shot and killed Brianna Taylor. One suspect was in custody, and police said the officer's injuries did not appear to be life-threatening.
President Donald Trump is under question after the New York Times received his tax return data. The data shows that Trump has not paid federal income taxes on a yearly basis in the past 2 decades. Furthermore, the records indicate that Trump's collection of businesses have lost money in the past years as well. Due to loopholes regarding tax credits and write-offs, Trump has paid $400 million less in combined income taxes compared to those of a similarly wealthy person. And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.